Hi everyone, welcome to Tax Tutoring and Training. My name's Hannah and welcome to our introductory video on what this video series is going to be about, why am I doing this, and what are you going to get out of it. So, as I mentioned before, my name's Hannah. I am a volunteer income tax assistant / tax counseling for the elderly intern at the West CTA VITA site location. This basically means that I'm in charge of taking the IRS curriculum put forth by Lincoln Learn Taxes, the VITA program, to get our class of accounting kids at the West CTA VITA site to become IRS Taxpreparer Certified in order to prepare tax returns with the VITA program for the low-income, elderly, and disabled. So why am I doing this video series? I'm doing this video series so that a lot of people, the VITA program is very necessary for our community to help educate on what goes into a tax return, how to prepare one, and to get other community members the help they need on filing their tax returns. So I want to make this education readily available to anyone who wishes to understand part components of a tax return. If you want to become VITA certified so that you can sign up with a local site and help your community, these videos are the place to be. I'm going to take the really complex, very professional federal lessons from the IRS and kind of make it in a way that's more engaging and a little bit more palatable through these videos. So let's get into it. What is VITA, or the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program? As I mentioned before, it's a program where citizens in the community who are low income, disabled, or elderly, these are the main people that it's aimed towards, can get free tax help with trained volunteers. I'm here to do the training, so hopefully more of our community members can become certified to partake in this program and help others in the community who need help. So how am I going to do this? So through this video series, I'm going to publish many different lessons. There should be around 33 in all. And these go strictly with the IRS lessons that are available in Lincoln Learn. And that link is the official IRS lessons page. And it's linked in my bio description on my page. So if you want to learn more, if you want the original content, like the very hard facts and more practice, you can go to that link and it'll show you what I'm pulling my content very based from. This is not this is my interpretation. This is me trying to teach you. So everything is based on facts from the IRS, and everything will culminate in the IRS Tax Preparer Certification. And I'm teaching you the advanced curriculum, but it also covers basic, so I'll get more into that later. So how it's going to work is each of these lessons are going to be turned into a video where I'm explaining things. That means even if you're not training to become an IRS tax preparer, you still have questions about, say, what's a dependent or what's the child tax credit, you can find the name of that video and go to it just for more of an understanding of how this works in your tax scenario and why this is here. So it also helps educate our society more about how taxes go, because really much of our baseline knowledge is just, we have to pay some of our money to the government, and we become resentful for that. But that's not all that goes into it. So what will you learn on these courses? Going through it, I am training you to become IRS Tax Preparer Certified, and I'm also providing basic tax knowledge. Either works. But if you want to become Tax Preparer Certified and train under the VITA program, so say you're doing this to be a part of the VITA program and sign up with a site, there are also other training that you will need, other tests you'll have to pass. These include the Volunteer Standards of Conduct or Ethics training, which I will have a brief lesson on, tax law training, which will be incorporated concurrently with the videos. So I'll mention in a video when we're looking at tax law or the application of it. And finally, intake, interview, and quality review training. This is basically how you interview with a real client and how you take their information, such as all their income statements, all their marriage status, and you take that information and you are able to translate it to prepare the return accurately. And I'll have videos on each of these separate things, so that if you are looking to become a VITA tax preparer, such as what I'm teaching to my class over on this end, you will be equipped to do so. So yeah. So resources that I'm going to be referencing. As I mentioned before, all of my content is based on the Link and Learn webpage on the IRS website, which sets a curriculum for the lessons needed to learn to become tax preparer certified. So if you have any questions or you want additional resources, that is a great place to go. It is, again, linked in my channel page. Yeah, and it has a bunch of extra questions, exercises, and another thing is it also has access to the practice lab. The VITA program uses the program TaxSlayer in order to e-file returns. So concurrently, this program is also goes along with TaxSlayer tutorials that you will be able to find. You will be able to find at that link. And other resources we have is the volunteer resource guide. This is basically an abridged version of all the tables, all the charts, very brief outlines of what is in scope for a VITA intern and what is not. And this is very good if you have brief referencing questions. So say you're working with a client, you can very briefly reference this, and it's able to very clearly and very quickly tell you if something's in scope or what to do in certain situations. Also included are the volunteer standards of conduct training and the intake and interview training. These are basically like the textbooks for your certifications in ethics and intake and interview. Again, I'll have separate videos for both, so those will be covering that content. So, things to know if you wish to become a VITA tax preparer. So, the VITA is a volunteer program, which means you're not legally liable for any mishaps, miscommunications. Those will be dealt with your site coordinator, wherever you choose to sign up with. But you must practice due diligence. So that means doing your part to ensure that the tax returns you prepare are correct to your knowledge. This means that you're following the quality site requirements, which we'll cover more in ethics training, and you're maintaining privacy rights. So you're not utilizing confidential information, you're not spreading it, that sort of thing. If you don't understand something, it's really important to ask for help. You can comment on my videos, or you can go to the IRS website, and they'll usually have a lot of resources for helping. So yeah. Identity protection PIN. So a common problem with that VITA often encounters is identity theft. And it's definitely a growing concern with taxes. So sometimes you'll come into contact with clients that are victims of identity theft. So in this case, they will need an IP PIN, and that can be used as validation of their social security number, which you'll need to file a tax return. If not, then you'll refer them to the IRS, where they can help solve this issue. Okay. And these are just basic vocabulary words that are useful to know so how this is going to work is I'm organizing the lesson into units. So for unit 1, this is just basic things like dependents, filing status, etc., etc. So these are all useful vocab words to just know in your head of what they mean and what we're referring to as I talk more about them in the lessons. So thank you for this introduction. I'm excited to meet you guys and help teach you taxes and clarify any information that you need help with. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Happy learning!